Rightio, it's been 8 days. There's a bit of clanking in the background, that's just the dishes being done. So I'll run through what we've got. This is the starter. It's been fed and emptied as it's started to fill up, and you can see the high tide mark there, so to speak. Got rather close to the top there on one of the feedings. So what we were doing was feeding for 3 days, then pouring out, leaving probably about 1/3 to 1/2 of a cup left, and then starting the process again. So what we've got here now is 400 grams of rye flour. So that's just going into a bowl. 200 grams of Atta flour. It's a whole milled flour without the husk. Very healthy. Good for making Indian flatbreads, very strong. The recipe I follow says to use white, but we pretty much all use this for everything, so that's going in there as well. In the centre we're just going to make a bit of a well. To this we're also adding a teaspoon of salt. That's just some pink Himalayan salt. And the next thing you add is the starter. This is 170 grams of the starter. So it's just going in one hit. Now this is a bit of a 3-stage bread, this one. There's heaps of different recipes online, but this is the one we've made so far, and it works fairly well. Smells very, I'm trying to show it to you, smells very fruity, very yeasty. So one trick I read today was actually keep your starter near a fruit bowl. So any of the natural fruit yeast will actually help colonise it. So what we have to add to it now is 320 mils of warm water. So what they say to do is pour that in with your starter and combine it in the middle of the well, and then slowly mix in all the flour into the liquid. I get it to about that consistency, and then I get my hands into it. Just give it a bit of a knead around the bowl. It is a very sticky dough. Try and keep any bits that escape. I'm just going to leave that sit for about 20 minutes, and just with something over the top, and that'll just let the water soak into the flour. So I'll just get a cover for it. And away we go. Right, well I've got the dough now. It's been sitting in the bowl for about 20 minutes. Normally what you do now is knead it for 15 minutes, but I'm being lazy and I'm going to knead it in the Thermomix. So it's a great little contraption, but I'm not a salesman, so I won't go on about it. I'm just going to set this up to knead now. I'm just going to knead it for 3 minutes in this. That's probably more than it needs. They say 1 to 3 minutes in this kneading is about the equivalent of 15 minutes from memory, so I may be wrong there. So I'm sure someone will pick me up as a Thermomix user if I'm wrong. So. Rightio, so that's finished now, and I'll show you what we're going to be baking it in. Unfortunately, I've got bread pans on order, they don't have any, so I'm using my bread maker loaf tin. This is what we've been using for the last couple of loaves we've been making in it. So now all we do is move this back, lifting, not dragging, and pull the dough out. Right, I got the bread out, I just wet the hand and just forming it into a bit of a loaf. I'll just drop it into the bread tin here. There we go. Wet hand clean, dry hand sticky, full of bread dough. So there's a lesson. So rightio, there it is. It's in there ready. Wash my hands. So I've just turned the oven off now. It's at the lowest setting, which is just under 50 degrees. So all I'm going to do now is put a little bit of cling film over the top of this, just to keep it, try and keep some of the moisture in. And then I'm just going to add another towel again. They'll just sit in the oven and slowly prove overnight. We found the best at least 12 hours for a good proving. Rightio, so next day now, the loaf has been proving in the oven. I left it in the oven overnight. It went in about 9 o'clock and it's now 9:30. When I put it in the oven, I pre-warmed the oven to about 50 degrees centigrade, and then again when we went to bed at probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I gave it another boost up to 50 degrees, and then this morning it's been done twice, once at about 6 o'clock and once at about 8 o'clock I boosted it up to 50 degrees again, just to help give some warmth for the yeast to multiply. So I'll show you what it looks like now. Rightio, so that's as far as the bread has risen. It's not a real high loaf, it's only about, all our loaves have only been about 7.5 centimetres to 10 centimetres, so roughly about 3 to 4 inches in height. We've only done Atta flour and rye flour ones so far. I think I have done one that was just Atta flour. So we might try white bread flour with the next one and see how it goes. Just to show you as well, just zoom in here because I've got a tripod on. This was fed about half an hour ago, and I put a mark on the level of the starter once the 2/3 cup measures of flour and water have been added. So it's already grown just under an inch, or about 2 centimetres. So pretty active little fellas. This loaf here is now going to go into a preheated oven, 200 degrees or 210 degrees Celsius, for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be reduced to 185 degrees Celsius in a fan forced for approximately 20 minutes. The way you tell if they're ready is you give them a bit of a tap and it sounds hollow. That works a lot better if you're shaping a loaf of bread on a tray and then you get to tap it underneath. I'm just using the loaf tin for the time being, just because it's easier to cover and I'm a bit lazy. No, just because it's a bit easier to cover and easier to work with. So I'll whack this in and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Right, the bread's out now. As you can see, it's sort of coming away from the sides there, so to me that looks done. So we'll just turn him out. It's got a couple of holes in the bottom from the bread pan, just from the bread maker. So there you go, there's our nice little sourdough loaf. It's very fresh, it's only just come out. So there we go, that's what it looks like. It's a very dark, heavy loaf. We love this one sliced thinly, toasted, and then with grilled tomato and cheese on top with salt and pepper. Yes, very, very nice bread. So I'll also be doing a white bread. I don't know whether I'll be doing a clip for that one or not. There'll be a link in the description below for our blog. I'm doing a post on the sourdough bread as well, so there'll be a little bit more information in there on the starter and such. So there's the sourdough starter clip and the sourdough clip. Two different clips, sorry about that, got a bit long-winded. Hope you enjoy them if you try and make them. It is a very basic sourdough, no frills. If I do try other methods, I'll post them if they work out well. Have a good one. See ya.